Apo here, and we are back. I say we, but it's just me. I don't know why I always do that, but I always say we. Hope everybody's doing okay. If you're watching this on YouTube later, thank you. Um, Obviously, this is like this page is at its like absolute infancy right now, and I forgot my goddamn iPad stand. So let me go grab that. I always forget something. So yeah, I am like literally just trying to figure all this shit out. So bear with me, and if you see something wonky or something I need to change, please don't hesitate to let me know or voice your opinion. Um, because I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm just trying my best. So we are going to start with our drawings here. We're going to do, just like yesterday, we're going to do 3 drawings, all of the October prompts that I do. So we're going to do Inktober, we are going to do Pouchtober, and we're going to do Mab's Drawlloween Club. And it's kind of sad because it's almost the end of October, so this, never-ending stream of drawings is going to come to an end soon. But fear not, I will definitely be drawing every single day, so you ain't got to worry about that. Um, the title is wrong. It says 27th. I swear I changed that. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, we're going to start with Inktober. The prompt today is crispy. I don't really understand crispy. I guess something like burned. Crispy. Maybe if I write it out, I will be able to think of something. Maybe. I don't know. Crispy. Um, why don't we do Freddy L. Krueger. He was burned up, right? Let's do that. Freddy Krueger had like a weird fucked up burned face. So I'm gonna riff off that, and we're gonna do Freddy Krueger. So as always, let's find some reference, and we will go from there. And right away, you see that the porn shows up in the browser. Gotta love it. I wonder if it would be fun to do the newer Freddy Krueger. Though, like, I say newer, but that movie came out fucking 20 years ago. Or like classic Freddy. I think we're gonna go with classic Freddy. I mean, you can't really go wrong with like one of the most iconic characters in all of horror. I also should state that I'm like really hungry. I should have ate before I did this, but I'm an idiot and I don't do things that are smart. So I'm very hungry. So I'm probably gonna rush through these drawings because I'm starving. This is a great piece of reference. Um, I have to say that Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger are like fundamental in my horror fandom. I think they were like the first horror movies that I ever watched, and like my parents, they let me watch horror movies at like a very young age because they didn't really. I mean, I turned out okay. They didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But Freddy was always like there's something special about Freddy. I mean, like the first movie, I think like as you get older, you realize how like it's like a very good, solid, just classic film. But like as they got sillier and sillier, like that appealed to me as a kid because Freddy was basically just like Bugs Bunny that murdered people, and I definitely enjoyed that. That's not what I meant to hit. I definitely enjoyed that as I got older, or when I was younger. So yeah, so let's get started. Now this should be streaming like everywhere. This should be streaming on well, not YouTube yet because I guess the channel's too new and it doesn't let me stream live. But it should be streaming on Facebook and on Twitch. So hopefully it'll be able to get a few more eyeballs in here. Also, for those of you watching, if at all, like once I get done these Halloween prompts, like I'm gonna just do like free drawings where basically, whatever. If I don't have like an idea of what I want to draw, I'll just open it up to the room and draw whatever anybody wants me to do. I think that would be fun. Let's add some paper texture here. Since this is Inktober, I like it to look a little bit more like a real drawing and not like not like a real drawing. Like I want it to look more like a hand drawn thing. So we'll just put some paper texture in there. Make this window smaller, which I always have a fucking problem with. And let's go. Going to go with, I don't know, something. Little Smooth Comic Inker. That sounds pretty good to me. Again, I can never make this goddamn little reference box. Like, I wish I could, if this was a layer, I wish I could put it, like, underneath the drawing layer. I don't know if that's even something you can do, but it's something I would definitely like to do, but who knows. Like I've said before, I'm nothing if not incredibly stupid. So all this is still very new to me. I want to make his head kind of big because I want to get all that detail of his gross face in there. And he's got like his hat kind of goes down over one of his eyes, which is always a problem for me perspective wise. Believe it or not, like it's because it's like slightly different. You're like, wait a minute, is this gonna mess up my proportions? I've already made his eye too big. But again, at this stage, we're just putting in little details, trying to map out where I want to go. His hat looks goofy as shit. How did I make that hat look so dumb? Yeah, we'll be able to work that out. I promise that'll look better. I promise that'll look better once I put more detail into it. Because right now it looks goofy as shit. I really should have picked a different brush to do these, like, this brush is terrible for these, like, outlines. Actually, maybe I'll just change it right now. No. And if anybody's interested in the brushes that I'm using in here, this is the Rusty Nib brush set. I forget who makes it. I think it's like, I forget their name, but if you just Google Rusty Nib, I'm sure you'll find it. It's a pretty great set. I think it was like $40 for everything. But I really like it. I use it all the time. And what's gonna be fun about this one is that all his fucking weird ass, like, squiggly lines and oh no! Oh fuck! I put this on the wrong layer. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. I now I just gotta start over again. It's fine. I didn't do much. So we're just gonna totally fucking get rid of all of these lines that I totally fucked up. And it's a fresh start. If you watched my video yesterday, you could have seen that I oftentimes draw in the wrong fucking layer, and you saw it right in motion there. That's when I erased and the paper started going away. I was like, uh-oh. So, whatever. Live and learn. Or in my case, not learn at all and just keep fucking doing the same stupid shit because you're an idiot and nobody likes you and you smell bad. Uh-oh. It's gonna be one of those kind of streams, folks. Alright. So now back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Eminem, 8 Mile, great film, everybody. Nobody likes Eminem anymore. I don't know why. I don't really know why you liked him in the first place, but it's fun to listen to an old man ramble about pop culture, right? This is what the kids pay to listen to. I already like his hat more. I think his hat shape makes a lot more sense now than it did 5 seconds ago. So that's a plus. Eye needs to go over a little bit more. It's slightly off. That's better. And we'll just put in, again, I'm just putting in some kind of like guidelines to understand where shit is so I can kind of go back into it and go from there. Should have drawn Scary Terry from Rick and Morty. He's almost as good as Freddy in pretty much every way. He says bitch a lot. Freddy also said every movie in the 80s is just like overly misogynistic. I feel like that was the calling card of the 80s. If you had to like be some kind of monstrous villain in the 80s, like all of your dialogue is just like crazy fucking misogynistic. It's pretty awful. I don't even know if we're gonna use his hand, but I'm just gonna put it there anyway. Is his thumb, like, where the hell is his thumb? Like his hand. So this is a challenge of reference sometimes. So like his hand, I think, is going like this. If you can see my hand, I think that's his hand is doing this. So like, the question that I would have is if his thumb. I feel like you should see his thumb here, unless it's like, I don't know. So the question would be, do I try to draw the thumb or do I leave it the way it is in the picture? Think when we get there I'm going to try to draw the thumb. I don't know, but that is one of those instances where if you just go off the photo it kind of looks wrong. Obviously a photo can't be wrong, it is what it is, but like from a matter of perspective I don't understand, like I can't visualize like why I can't see his thumb, but I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Also, his hand. I drew his hand like way too big. But it's kind of obscured by his hat and by the fog, so I give myself a little bit of. I cut myself a little bit of slack on that one. See, but I guess his thumb is behind his hat. Because, like, it should be like this. Something like that. I don't know. Again, I'm just going to draw like a general shape for his hand, and then when we get back to his hand, we can worry about putting in details or whatever. Because see, even that doesn't look right with his thumb there. It looks like he's like, hey, it's my hand. I'm Freddy Krueger, guys. Don't go to... See his hand, now he's got like this weird like little like T-Rex hand. It doesn't work. Let's try to put it further back. Maybe that's the problem. So like up here, and then a little, it's about the same. Yeah, I can live with that. All right, that's your sketch. That's the outline that we're gonna go with. There should be a chat window in here, right? Why is it not showing up? I guess it is if somebody... Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright. Neat. Yeah, still learning, guys, so bear with me. Let's get into the actual fun part, the real drawing. Got this stupid preliminary stuff, the boring stuff. I didn't even draw in his like sweater or anything. His body kind of yeah, I drew his head a little off, but okay. All right, let's go into the fun part now. Start a new layer. I got an email from somebody that watched the YouTube video that I posted last night, and they asked why I didn't go back in my second layer in like lighter colors. Like I do see a lot of artists that go from like, they'll do like a preliminary layer in red, and then they'll do like a secondary layer of like even more red or like a different shade to put in more details before they go into the final inking phase. And if this was like something, if this was something that somebody paid for, or if this was something that I didn't want to just spend like 20 minutes on or whatever, I think I've already spent over 20 minutes on this. But what I'm saying is, if this is something that I was putting a little bit more into, that's definitely something I would do. A lot of times, another like workaround, if you're having a problem with a shape, is to kind of block in the color. Like you take like a brush, and like a big circular brush, and you just kind of like make a circle that way, and then put in the details as you go. It's something I can show on another drawing, not necessarily this one, but it's definitely something that's helped me when I've run into something I found like tricky and I couldn't really figure out. It's all about, just kind of finding your workflow, finding like what tricks that you like to use, because it all comes down to just tricks. Everything is a trick, learning the 5 eyes rule or any of that stuff. You could call it just learning your normal like rules of illustration, but that's a trick. It's like just a shortcut. And like his face is like super craggy, obviously because of all the burns and stuff. Again, this is not something that I'm gonna color in, so I'm gonna try my best to try to make it look like, to try to give it that weird craggy burn effect, just with lines, just with thick and thin black lines. we'll see how that works out. Hopefully it'll work out all right. But it's fun. I find it a lot of fun to draw like stuff that's like super liney like this. It allows you to be like expressive with how you put something down and what you choose to like shade and whatnot. Like I'm a big fan of like the classic like EC Comics, like horror artists like like Bernie Wrightson and stuff like that, and all their stuff. I mean, not that I'm not comparing myself to those guys, but the stuff that I respond to in their work is like their choice of shading and cross hatching and how they add emphasis to what they want and the mood to their drawings, things like that. So if I can emulate just like a small bit of any of their influence, I'm, totally flattered. Because, I mean, those guys are the masters, Bernie Wrightson, rest in peace. Most of those guys, unfortunately, are not with us anymore. I'm pretty sure Richard Corbin passed this year. I was a huge fan of him. He did I forgot what Marvel called it. I think they called them Haunt of Horrors. They did like a horror series that he did. He did an Edgar Allan Poe one and he did a Lovecraft one, and they were both really, really good. And then, of course, he's done like tons and tons of old horror and fantasy comics. He was a fantastic artist. Huge fan of Richard Corbin. He's starting to look more like Freddy, right? A little bit more like Freddy. Get his little shitty sweater. Why does he need a sweater if he burned to death? He should be plenty warm. Jesus Christ. That's the kind of humor you get on this channel. All dad jokes all the time. Also, like, I used to have like a really nice Freddy sweater, if that's possible. Like, the quality of it was like really nice. And I remember this was like 20 years ago. I spent way too much money on it. It was like $70 for like a novelty sweater. And it was like, and I used to remember thinking like, but it's a nice sweater. Like it's made well. It's not like something that you bought at like Spirit Halloween for $10. But ultimately, what's the fucking point? It's still just a goofy Freddy Krueger sweater. But I liked it. Now the real question's gonna be, once we get in here, like, I feel like it needs a little bit more, but I'm pretty happy with that face. I think that face is pretty good. Like, I think that I'm happy with this face. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this face. Thank you to my viewer. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Next question is, do I black out his hat or do I try to draw it and then add in another color to try to give it more layer texture? I think I'm going to try to layer it a little bit. So what I mean by that is, of course, I could either just black it out, just draw it and just black out the whole thing, or what I'm gonna do is try to leave some like white space in there, and then I'll go back, and since we're doing this in black and white, I'll just put some like gray in there or something. think you'll see what I mean once I get done these lines. I don't know what that was. I don't know why I left that little spot there. Alright, so here's your hat. It looks like a hat. I'm pretty happy with that. Gonna add a little bit more. We're gonna put some more shading in this one before this is all said and done, but I wanted to add some more like heavier black lines to try to emphasize how fucked up his face looks. God, if I could ever get rid of that goddamn fire truck. It never stops. I don't understand how there's anything left of my town with the amount of times that fucking fire truck goes up and down my street. I mean, it should be like Armageddon outside. I just don't understand. Or like a fucking, what do you call it? The fucking, like a disaster movie or something. Alright, here is the part I was dreading. Let's go to this fucking hand. So, I can't draw on the reference, but there's 1, 2, shit. See, I think his thumb is tucked up. So I think his hand is actually doing this. I think. So we're gonna draw it. Let's go. Let's draw a fucking hand with a thumb. So I'm gonna put his thumb there, even though it's not there. Then his fingers here. And I gotta put all the like armature, for lack of a better term, on his fucking fingers too. I don't think that looks right at all. It don't look right. Oh yeah, he's got like a shitty like frayed glove. He doesn't have like a clean like X-Men glove. He's got like a frayed nasty glove, and also a frayed, his fucking sweater is frayed. Everything is frayed. He's a horror character. He's all messed up, you know? He's all messed up. 'Cause I'm all messed up, you know? Alright, and then you just draw this little blade fingies. Oh no, my fingies. My blade fingies. Now, point of order, I should have made his head smaller so I could make his fucking blade fingers stick out a little bit better, but this comes from a person that doesn't plan very well. And again, I don't want to spend all day doing this one drawing, so we're just going to leave it the way it is. The face is the focal point. I like the way the face came out, so I'm happy with just leaving it the way it is. I've never been a person, an artist that is scared of saying this is good enough. It's probably something I shouldn't say, but it's true. There's plenty of times where it's like, it works. Take out the background drawing, and we have our line art. Let's add some shading. Let's add a little bit of texture to some of this, some shadow stuff. So I'm going to add a layer, going to go to multiply, and I'm going to break a rule, and I'm not going to use this inking brush because they're not very good at the way I shade shit, because it's all like, you kind of get like an all or nothing with these. So I'm going to use a paintbrush that gives me better opacity, Yeah, I'm gonna just go like with a neutral gray, see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, so now we just do some shading. I'm gonna actually shade his hat in something darker, since obviously the shadow on his skin and the color of his hat should be a different color. So yeah, all that like white that I left, this is kind of what I was talking about. Kind of gives it the appearance that like it isn't just a big black blotch on the top of his head. Because I can tell you that what I used to do way back in the day when I used to draw, I'd always just black stuff out, like especially like clothing and stuff. But I feel like if you leave like, maybe not in this example because it's not the best thing I've drawn, but if you leave some breaks, I feel like it gives more of an impression that there's more there. Whereas if you black it out, like it just looks like a big black mass. I mean, not to say that there isn't examples of where blacking out stuff is definitely the right thing to do and it works, but in this case, I feel like it's the way to go. You can probably just get rid of this reference now. I'm not going to need this for anything. Not really. Alright, no more reference. Alright, so it's just you and me, Mr. Kruger. So I'm just gonna shade in some areas that I think need emphasizing. Like under his nose, like the usual spots under his eye. I actually think this should be darker. Not that dark. I feel like it's under his hat, so there should be a much more dramatic shadow coming from under the brim of his hat. Don't know if it makes sense that it goes all the way to his nose. I'm gonna say it doesn't, so we're just gonna do like directly underneath. I'm gonna do like more of a pocket of shadow underneath of his eye. I will say it is kind of fun to talk out these decisions that I make, and I don't. You obviously like these things are usually in my head, so it's kind of fun to like vocalize these thoughts, and I'm like, I don't know if this should work or this will work. I'm always very indecisive, is what I'm trying to say. But also, like, in an instance where we're not going to color something, I think that the grayscale helps make his skin look weird. It kind of gives it its own kind of feel. I feel like I should change his mouth expression a little bit. I don't know if I like the way his mouth looks. Maybe have it open or like scowling or whatever. Yeah, we'll go back to that in a minute. And I was like, I'm gonna just do a little bit of gray, and I ended up doing like his whole face. So now I'm gonna just try to go back a little darker in some areas. I need to do something. There's a line. These lines are bothering me. These lines, I gotta stop pointing at it with the pencil when you can't see it. But these lines right above his, now it fucking changed my whole thing. Where the hell's the fucking brush I was using? Fuck it, we'll just go with this. These lines here, they give him like a mustache appearance, so I need to get rid of those. They don't look right. And I really feel like Maybe if his mouth was like open, it would be. I don't know. Guess we'll just leave it closed. I don't want to have to. That's better. Stretch them out a little bit more. They're not on top of each other like they were before. It's the little differences. Put some more black, maybe some little like circles to indicate like boils and shit all over his face, because he's got shit all over his face. There you go. Alright, now just need to color in his glove and his sweater. And the part of his neck I just didn't color in at all. Shit. See, there's neck here. Not that color. There's neck right here that I'm just like, nah, he doesn't. He's just gonna. He's only burned from the head up. He's fine. He's got one like little 10% of his body is fine. He's got this little tiny spot where he's just like, it's not too bad. He was wearing a fucking, I don't know, fucking asbestos fucking necklace that day or something. Oh, TJ. Alright, now I'll just put in some darker colors for his sweater. Another reason that I probably should have like made his head smaller and panned out is so I could show his like trademark sweater stripes. But again, what are you gonna do? It's not that big a deal. Oops. Little pro tip. Always pick up your pencil when you've done like a section that you think looks okay, because when you do what I just did and like undo it, if you don't ever pick your pen up, it registers it all as one action. So when you do shit like this, it's like fucks it up. Also, I don't know why it keeps doesn't look right. I keep getting too many tones in here. I guess I loosen up on the pencil too much or something. But again, we're not going for like crazy texture accuracy here or anything, so it's not that big a deal. I need this to be darker, I think. It's brown when it's in real life or whatever. That black line needs to be thinner. Let me just take out the little chunks that I missed here along the way. Clean this up a little bit. This is something that I strive to get better at, to not have so many little messy, unfinished lines, but it is something I'm not good at. I'm very hasty, for lack of a better term. So I miss a lot of stuff like this. But you know, you gotta just get better every day. put some shading on his hand to try to differentiate his little finger dealies. And his glove. Because his glove is leather. I really should have done like a lighter color on these, but it's okay. Um, 40 minutes. 40 minutes to do this. Crazy. 40 minutes. I strive to be a lot faster, but I think this one is about done. So we're just gonna add just a little bit of finishing touches on this. I always like to add like white highlights at the end of a drawing, but I always put it in like a normal layer, not a what do you call it? Shit, I already forgot the M layer. the overlay, not the overlay, the other one. I already forgot what the fuck it's called. Multiply. How did I not think of that? I try to do like the white highlights on its own so it doesn't blend in with the background layers, because I think it stands out a little bit more and it looks creepier, especially like in the eyes. So I'm gonna give him this like anime eye thing, and I'm gonna make his little fingies. Try to make his fingies a little different looking. Try to make them stick out a little bit. And maybe put like a little bit of flavor in his hat. Should I add? Maybe put a few little white lines in his nose, his mouth, to try to make that stand out a little bit more. And I think that's it. I think we have a Freddy, folks. We have a Freddy. This took way too long, but I think we have a Freddy. So there you go. We got one Freddy. It's all done. Alright, so now we move on to the next one. So we only got two more. Hopefully I can get this one done a little bit faster than the last one so I can go eat dinner. If you're still with me, thank you. Feel free to ask me any questions or whatever you want to do. Still getting used to everything here. So Mab's Drawlloween Club for today is Serpentine. We're gonna do Axl Rose, because like he has that part where he's like, "My serpentine, oh, I want to watch you bleed." I don't even know what that fucking means. He just did like the like dance, and he said serpentine, and then he showed his like nasty like drug teeth back in the day. Serpentine. Axl Rose. I like it. Let's go with Axl Rose. Fuck it. It's fun. It's fun. It's funny. It's good. It's good for you. Axl. Is there an E in Axl? I don't know. Axl Rose. We're gonna go. We want classic Axl Rose. We don't want fucking new dreadlocked Axl Rose. Thank you very much. What the absolute state of this man. I mean, yikes. I mean, he looks like he got stung by every bee. I just, yeesh. I mean, you know, he's living a very comfortable life, so, you know, who am I? Whom am I to judge? Sorry, I promised I was gonna do this one quickly, and now I'm like stuck on what Axl Rose to draw. We're gonna go with just this. I'm just gonna draw his face. Maybe I don't feel like drawing his whole body and his stupid tattoos. So yeah, we're just gonna go. I don't know. Maybe I should draw his stupid body and his stupid tattoos. I don't know. Maybe I feel. Maybe I. You know what? Maybe let's not do Axl Rose. Serpentine. Serpentine. Fuck it. Axl Rose it is. I can't think of anything else. I mean, it'd be a snake. But, like, what's a cool snake? I got it. Solid Snake. Fuck yeah. We're gonna do Metal Gear. Fuck it. No Axl Rose. Fuck you, Axl Rose. We're gonna do Solid Snake. I just need like a general. Should I do Old Snake? Old Snake would be fun. With his fucking eye patch and everything. Big Boss would be fun. Venomous Snake. Is that his fucking name in what's it called? We're just gonna go with Old Snake. I'm kind of partial to Old Snake. I just need his face. I don't know why I'm like trying to fucking figure this out and make this a lot more difficult than it really is. It's kind of what I do. It's just always make things way more difficult than they need to be. I knew I shouldn't have started this before I ate. Because it makes me want to rush even more because I'm starving. But these are all lessons that that a baby streamer like myself has to learn. Don't start streaming before you eat. Never a good idea. Alright, for this one, it'd be kind of cool to do it in that guy's style that does all the Metal Gear work. His stuff is kind of like brush heavy, and I think that'd be cool. Instead of doing it like, I don't know. I'm gonna use something I've never used in this program before. I'm gonna use the Sumi E Beauty Brush. Let's see what this looks like. What does this thing do? Ooh, that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Alright, we're gonna go with that. It's funny, I remember when I first got into this, and a friend of mine who is a much better artist than me, she's like, well, you gotta just stick with one brush, and you stick with one brush and you get to learn it, and then you'll get more comfortable with it. And I'm over here like, one brush? God. I think I use a different brush every time I draw something. I don't think I've ever stuck with one. It just seems kind of I don't know. I just can't stick with one brush. And yeah, I apologize for the total lack of creativity when it's going to come to this particular drawing, because we're literally just going for his face. And no, I'm not doing the angle or anything of the reference. I just need the reference because I don't remember what his face looks like. We are going to make him very, very old and grizzled and your classic snake, poor snake. I feel like that eye needs to be pushed over a little bit. I mean, it's going to be here, so then I don't know. He's not happy. That's what we do now. It's Solid Snake. He's an unhappy man. He has a shortened lifespan. He's a fucking train killing machine. It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest life that Snake had. R.I.P. Snake. Until Konami brings out some bastardized sequel that I'm sure they're working on. Didn't I bring another beer? Oh, thank God. Got another one on deck. I can't eat dinner, but I can drink a lot of beer. Alright. I feel like he had like a mullet, so we're gonna... Every fucking drawing today, or between yesterday and today, I don't leave enough space for their fucking hair. Like, I it's very frustrating that I keep running into the same issues, because I'm very stupid. Alright, no frills, just a face. Very simple. Now we're going to try to spice things up and make this thing look kind of interesting. I want to give him... So, like... I guess you won't see his eye... So, like, if you look at the reference, it's kind of cool. So, his headband is fucking enormous. And it's so big that it actually ties into his brow line, which is weird. So, I guess I need to do the same. So, first of all, I need to draw on the right layer, which I wasn't. First of all, I'm going to take his eyes, and I'm going to not make them so big and happy looking. I'm going to make his actual eyeball smaller and more like squinty, like a Chuck Norris, like a Clint Eastwood kind of vibe. Still probably too big. I'm just gonna wear this down. Lots and lots and lots and lots of like character lines. I am going to make his headband impossibly big. It defies logic how big his fucking headband is, but it's a video game. It's not realistic. He kind of looks like Hulk Hogan already, like the way I've done his face. Let me tell you something, brother. Outer heaven. What you gonna do, Volcan? He wasn't even fighting Volcan, actually. That's a terrible, terrible joke. That was the wrong snake. He was fighting Vulcan Wolf, I think was his name. There you go. Used to be quite the Metal Gear scholar. Not so much anymore. I feel like I can't really tell, but I feel like the fucking his eye patch was like a fucking. It wasn't like an eye patch. It was like a screen. I think it was like a. I don't know, we're just gonna make it an eye patch. Fuck it. I think it was like. It had like not like a screen. I think it was like a. Like it had like a depth to it. It had like there was some kind of gadget that was attached to his eye patch, and that's how they explained away, like how he could see the stuff the player could see, if I'm not mistaken. See now he's pissed. He's mad. He's scowling. Actually, now he just looks like he like farted. Okay. I mean, I gave him kind of like a thousand mile stare with his one good eye. This brush is difficult for mustaches. Mustache without a beard is that's a tough look to pull off. All right, and since the original has like his weird brow, like ultra brow lines in the bandana, we are going to do the same. He's got those like fucking like Liefeld brows where it's all anger. There you go, that looks a little bit better. Gonna have his mouth open a little bit. I don't know, I feel like that looks better. Just have him fucking. He still looks like fucking Hulk Hogan though, which is kind of funny. I mean, he's like a quintessential 80s guy. Like, Snake is totally an 80s throwback, so I guess it only makes sense that he looks like Hulk Hogan. I'm sure Hideo Kojima loves Hulk Hogan, or at least loved him in the 80s. He really does look like Hulk Hogan, like quite a bit. I have like no idea what kind of shit Snake, like Snake always had like a pack, like the original, he has like some kind of pack, so we're just gonna give him some fucking pouches. When in doubt, pouch it out. Just gonna give him some fucking tactical pouches, baby. You don't know what's in those pouches. It could be fucking supplies, could be rations, could be cigarettes that you could smoke in Metal Gear. Because Metal Gear fucking rocks. It's like, it's crucial to the character's smokes. Well, he has like sideburns. I didn't realize that. Like, not really sideburns, but like, I guess it goes with his fucking mullet. And now we can get rid of the reference because I don't need it anymore. And I should have gotten rid of the damn red lines. I guess I still need those a little bit. Man, I should have pressed down on this brush a lot harder earlier. You press down on it, you get like these really cool thick like oily lines. I like that a lot. It's definitely something I'm gonna use in the future. Cause I think it looks really cool in his hair. Have these like really heavy lines. Try to make it look a little bit more like unkempt. And now we can get rid of that. And what next? I guess just make them a little bit more wrinkly. It's kind of boring drawing. I'm sorry. It's kind of flat, but just add some shading. I always want to give people buck teeth, or not like a gap. Probably because I have a gap, but all right, let's do a little shading on this guy. And we're gonna change the background color a little bit too, just to kind of give it a little bit more presence. And then we're going to go in and we're going to see how this Sumi brush does on shading. Probably not well. I'm going to guess. It's very dark. Yeah, that's not great for what I'm trying to do. So we'll go back to good old paintbrush. Good old paintbrush. Nothing beats that. You know, I think I want to give this a little bit more. I want the lines to have a little bit more bite. Yeah, like that. try to give this like a little bit of texture, like almost like a CRT screen, like with like the lines, and then try to shade around that. I can't tell if I like it or hate it. It's hard to say. Let's gray up his hair a little bit. So for the lighter colors, I'm going to use an overlay layer. Multiply for darker colors, overlay for lighter colors. Otherwise, like the if you do like a multiply with a lighter color under dark, it won't show up like at all. Now the real question is, should I do? I feel like that's like too on the nose. Fine. We'll just go with the white. I need to make his patches and stuff, or his what does this look like? Not great. Alright, we're going to go back to the other layer and we're going to color this in. His pouches. Shout out to pouches. Big shout out to pouches. Without you, what would our heroes carry their shit in? You gonna be a fucking superhero or a super secret agent and carry your shit around in like a backpack? I don't think so. You need the tactical advantage of pouches. Oh yeah, I forgot his fucking back of his hair. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more shading to the underneath of his face. I'm going to try to make it look a little bit more dynamic. And I say his face and then I start doing other things. We're gonna gray out his hair a little bit too. I feel like it doesn't come across the right, with all the other gray that I put in this, I don't feel like it comes off the right way. That doesn't look right either. Hmm. Sometimes you reach a crossroads where you're like, well, this kind of works, kind of doesn't. So why does this like not show up at all? Oh, there it is. I think we have a snake here. I think this is what we're gonna go with. Snake-oo! Snake-oo! Game over. Snake! 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 I heard that shit a lot. I died a lot in that game. I was very all of them, all of the games. Probably Snake Eater the most. I died a lot in that fucking game. Again, I'm just trying to get this to a point where I'm like, oh, I don't hate it as much. Going to add one more layer. I think I have something that I think will make this look a little bit more interesting. Gonna add a multiplier layer. I'm gonna use this like paintbrush that I like a lot from the Jing paint set. Yeah, Paint Streak. It's already there. And it's just gonna add this like weird texture line to it that it's too dark. See if it looks better in a different color. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, and that's 2 down. That's a snake. Now we're going to sign it. I say we, but obviously it's just me that's signing it. So, but y'all helped. A lot of black and grays today. Alright, finally. You know, I might skip Pouchtober today. If it's like Shaman yesterday, I don't know if I have the energy to draw another goofball character that I've never heard of. Super Patriot. You know, I think I'm going to call it for today. I'm going to call it for today. I don't feel like drawing Super Patriot. I'll probably post him later. Maybe I will. I'm going to try. Maybe I'll just record it and then I will post it on the YouTube later after I eat. But anyway, thank you guys for paying attention to me for a little while, for an hour and 15 minutes. Wow. But I will be back. Again, this is a work in progress, so, you know, I'm still learning, and if there's anything that you want to see, I got to get a second camera, and then I'm going to start doing, like, live painting and drawing with, like, a pen and paper and all that shit. I think that'd be fun to watch, too. So, anyway, thanks, guys.